Hello everyone, it's Stray Faye here with another episode of Cupid, Parasite. We are over the halfway point of Allan's route. I think like pretty well over the halfway point. In the last episode we had a deja vu date with Allan, or Guilty, as reincarnated Lynette. And yeah, and then of course something bad has to happen after that. I mean, she's pretty much like warned not to go off on her own, and then she's like, lol, I'm going off to Greece and not telling anyone. And then she got kidnapped, but luckily she was saved fairly quickly after getting terrifyingly dragged into hell, into the underworld. That's scary, just like the thought of her just getting dragged on the stone and like no one really is responding to her, as yeah, just gets dragged into a wormhole. And now, yes, we're on the next chapter. Kinder Than Anyone. Is she gonna, like, figure out who Allan is? I know, like, he revealed his demon form. He's like, you must be mistaken. 'Tis not I. I am just a person who has long hair. Long purple hair. Alright, Lynette. Catch your breath. I was able to get back to Greece thanks to Guilty. I'm back! With a sense of great relief, I fell to the ground. You should be fine here. Guilty releases a deep sigh and then looks at me. Where did you put the bracelet? It got caught in the clothes of the person who bumped into me and ripped off. So they used a human to break it. Despite being lesser demons, they were smart. I should have given you a new one. It's like, put a lock on it. give her a cuff. It's okay. You don't have to make that kind of face. You'll be forgetting everything about me soon enough. What? I went to the underworld in search of a way to erase your memories, so that you'd be able to live as a human. Guilty looks at me with a sneer. I am a demon. I wasn't supposed to appear before you. It's all just an accident. It was something I never intended. That's why I have to clear your memories of our time spent together. I'm a demon. You're a human. Yup, I'm a bad demon. Oh, remembering the kiss in the rain, oh. The words of someone familiar came rushing back. Who was that? I don't want you around anymore, he said it in a way that clearly meant to hurt me. And also to hurt himself. He laughed just like before. A demon is an evil being that feeds off of humans. Even the gods underestimate us at their peril. I definitely heard him use that tone of voice before. It's like, you can't fool me, Allan. He was being harsh to try and warn me in his own way. Because he's a kind person. I've always known that. At the same time, it wasn't Guilty's voice. That's not the voice I was remembering. I know. I was with him when he wasn't what he is now. What I remember is... Okay, so has the mixed save file. Alright. And... okay, I guess we technically did both of these, but... we'll remember the more wholesome one. A kiss with him. Kiss in the rain. Ah! remember now. His name isn't Guilty. His real name is... Allan! When I called his name, he was aghast. He took a few steps back, his expression registering nothing but despair. No. You remembered. Yes, I remember now. Your name is Allan, and you are an incubus. And also the fact that I'm Cupid. I remember everything now. I reached for my neck, confirming that Cupid's bow necklace was back. Did it just, like, continuously just, like, teleport to Celestia? Because they mentioned, like, oh, the bow is back, and then... But then Lynette's like, yeah, it just appears and disappears like a light bulb. This flickering pendant was the divine artifact of a god, bearing golden and leaden arrows. The reason it was unstable was probably because I was half human. But now that my memories have returned, I am no longer a regular human. Allan, did you turn me into a human? Guilty. He had a sad, pained look in his eyes. It spurred memories of his words on the day he stuck the knife into me. If you continue on as Cupid, your soul will eventually disappear, which is why. He said there was no other choice. Allan used a demonic artifact to extract my soul. Then I became a human. I was living an oblivious human life, never knowing that I used to be a goddess until I became a college student. Maybe Allan did all of this as a way to prolong my life. Allan, all this time, you were doing everything to protect me, to keep me from disappearing. Ever since I became a human, I always had good luck. Did you? Like falling over before getting into an accident or somehow surviving a drowning incident. It would have been lucky to just never have to go through that. But it's true that demons are common. And for demons, a god's soul is the most delicious treat. That is what Allan told me. You've always been protecting me because demons are attracted to my soul, right? Ever since I started working at Cupid Corp, 20 years before I reincarnated. What a convenient interpretation. Why would a god ever believe anything a demon says? Allan tried to sound annoyed, but it was easy to see that it was just an act. It was obvious he was in pain. He was always a terrible liar. I could always see right through him. And it was clear that that hadn't changed. I was using you. I want your Cupid's bow all to myself, that's all. Then you should have taken it from me. A demon can't lay a finger on it. That's why I had sealed it away. To lead the human world into chaos. He was working so hard to come up with any excuse he could. He was struggling so hard to hide his true feelings. I'm a greater demon. I just wanted to cause havoc in the human world and show the gods what I'm capable of. And you think I did it so you wouldn't disappear? Are you really so stupid? What kind of foolish Cupid would? His smirk suddenly vanished, and he looked like he was about to cry. You really are stubborn, aren't you? Even when lying to hurt me would help me in the long run, you just can't do it. If you really were a terrible demon that can only sin, you'd be a lot better at deceiving people. You don't have to act like you're evil. Just be your kind self and fool me properly. But you can't. Because you really are a kind person. Allan, you're such a terrible liar. It's okay, you don't have to keep on trying. What are you? No matter what you say, you can't hurt me. Because I know just how much you care about me. I know how kind you are, and I know your lies are only meant to protect me. After all, we lived together for 30 days. And you protected me while you were guilty, too. You can't fake that type of kindness. When I smiled at last, his false toughness fell apart. Why? Why did you have to say that? Allan was almost muttering to himself. I could practically see the tears welling up in his eyes. I didn't want you to remember anything. I just wanted you to be human. Why couldn't you let me fool you? Why couldn't I lie to you? I fooled so many humans before you. I just had to do the same thing I always did. He covered his face and balled his hands up into a fist. I'm such a fool. I kept on reaching out to you, even though I knew it was the worst thing I could do. But when you told me you wanted to see me, I was powerless to resist. When you wanted to go to the beach, I had to take you. The only thing that makes me happy is to make you happy. But I knew it would only awaken your soul. Now his fists were starting to shake. He wanted me with every fiber of his being, and at the same time he bitterly regretted those feelings. But I missed you so much. I don't want to ever forget you. I just wanted you to live happily as a human. Allan shook his head weakly. His voice was shaky. A single tear trickled down his cheek. I told you, you're going to disappear. Every single god besides the deconsentities are nothing more than disposable pawns. Disposable? That's right. There have been countless Cupids over the generations. I know who the Cupid before you was. I saw them with my own 2 eyes. The Cupid before me? The Book of Vanquishing taught me that Cupids are replaced once a generation, and the other gods are just as disposable. Nike, Muse, anyone other than the revered deconsentities are used up and tossed out. You're nothing more than a tool. I wanted to believe it wasn't true, but at the same time I couldn't really deny it. There are plenty of stories about Cupid that didn't seem like me. The one between Cupid and Psyche seemed oddly specific. I always thought that was kind of strange. That's why I was searching for a way to separate your soul from your consciousness as Cupid. That way, you could become a full human, and demons would stop coming after you. You wouldn't have to go back to Celestia either. But I couldn't find a solution. Your divine soul was so powerful, it bonded incredibly closely to your consciousness. Cupid was your entire existence. Separation simply wasn't an option. Well, after all, that was my job as Cupid. But you weren't like that at the beginning. That's why I wanted to try and change you back. Allan cried out, but then suddenly snapped his mouth shut. Allan, there's something I've been wanting to ask you ever since you stabbed me. I wanted to get closer to his heart, so I took a step forward. But then he took another step backward. But why? Another choice. Why do you help me? Allan, why do you help me? Have we met each other before? Who were we? Hearts. Allan just smiled with a sadness on his face. He stood there with those kind eyes, keeping that small distance between us. I recognized his expression of self-loathing. His smile was nothing more but bravado. You don't need to know. In fact, it's better if you don't remember. I'm too filthy at this point. Even if we had met each other before, that person no longer exists. What remains now is a tainted incubus, a demon that feeds on the dreams of humans. So please, just forget about everything. No, I want to know! Allan, just tell us! He said this with an imploring voice. I couldn't remember anything, but I could still feel his anguished emotions. We had met each other before. Back then, maybe he and I cared for each other dearly. That's why he's trying to keep me from disappearing as a Cupid. He became a greater demon and doesn't want me to know. Despite the fact that he's been protecting me for ages. Come with me, Lynette. With a look of determination, Allan called my name. His tone was soft and sweet, exactly the kind of voice a demon would use to seduce a human. But his face was completely sincere. There's no point in him acting like a demon anyway. I already know just how kind he really is. This will be my third attempt. I swear I'll turn you into a human. Third. Wait. Lynette, run. He's got a knife. He says that, but he still looks like he's about to cry. A kind, stubborn person that couldn't fully become a demon. I don't want him to suffer trying to protect me. If I have to live without my memories of him, I'd rather just disappear. Because if I forget about him, he'll be in pain till the day he dies. I opened my arms wide and embraced him. Allan, it's okay. What are you saying? I don't want to live without ever having known you, so it's okay now. I've lived long enough. After all, I spent several hundred years as Cupid. It was a fulfilling life. So please, just forget about me. Think of yourself and try to find happiness. No. Why are you? I can't. Not without you. Tears were streaming down Allan's cheeks. I hugged him as hard as I could, as if I might break him in half. No, I don't want you to disappear. I want you to live. Please. Allan. I held him close and listened to the beat of his heart. It felt like a memory from long ago. Oh, the static. Hey, are you really Allan? Where were we? I loved your smile so much. I always tried to make you laugh. We chased each other through the grass. We played hide and seek. We even had a pretend wedding. We held each other just like this and laughed till we couldn't breathe. Just a little more. Just a bit more and I'll be able to remember. Oh, just at that moment, there was a sudden flash and an ear-splitting crash of thunder. Both of us were knocked to the ground. I tried to roll onto my back. Why would a bolt of lightning strike here out of nowhere? Minerva? Or is it Jupiter? No, not just a normal bolt of thunder. It has to be Jupiter. Oh, he has wings. Hello. Voice modulator.
I've been looking for you, Cupid.
Lord Jupiter, what are you?
Your divine artifact stopped responding approximately 20 years ago. I've been searching for you ever since. Come, Cupid. It's time to return home to Celestia.
With a surprisingly kind voice, he reached out to me. Suddenly, a single large wing blocked his way. Oh, nope. Allan's gonna fight a god. He really does look like a fallen god or a fallen angel, the black wing. I will not let you take her. You're just going to use her till she finally disappears.
An incubus? Surely you realize there's no forgiveness to be had for open rebellion against the gods.
I'm not looking for forgiveness. Punish me all you want, but I won't let her go. Allan! Allan stood between us, protecting me and openly defying Lord Jupiter. But now he's in trouble all over again. Lord Jupiter is the almighty god of all gods. He stands above all other gods with absolute power. He controls the human realm and basically everything else. Not even the rest of the Deconsentes could defeat him in open combat. What do you mean? Minerva two-manned him with Alexander the Great. Ah, I know. My Cupid's bow. Can make him fall in love.
No, Cupid. You must not use that.
Even as I heard him call my name, he already had my hands held within his own. Oh, did he just, went behind and yoink? Huh? There wasn't even a moment to blink. It was like a totally silent lightning strike, which would make sense, all things considered. A second ago, Allan was protecting me, and now Lord Jupiter had me in his grasp. I couldn't move. I was fully and completely his captive. Lord Jupiter rarely raised his voice in anger, but his strength was so great, there's no way I could make him release me. What? How did you?
Now do you understand? Return to the underworld before I am forced to teach you the true meaning of suffering.
No! I won't let you do this! Lynette! Allan's eyes glittered, and suddenly a powerful wind began to blow.
A mere demon would dare challenge me.
That's right. I'm never going to let her go again. Never again? What do you... Let go of her! Allan opened up his wing to his full length and unleashed his demonic power. A gust came through, and something I couldn't see launched itself at Lord Jupiter. However...
How pointless.
Lord Jupiter simply waved his hand and the wind disappeared. Good. Allan launched his assaults again and again, but every attempt was thwarted easily. Are they just doing this in the street? Are there civilians nearby? Allan! Don't worry, I can...
I told you, it's pointless.
Good. None of Allan's attacks could even come close to him. The power of a demon really was nothing compared to the almighty Lord Jupiter. Damn it! Come on! Get to him! Also, I hope the explosions aren't too loud. Just looking at my sound bar, uh-oh. But no matter how hard he tried, none of Allan's attacks reached him. Meanwhile, I noticed Lord Jupiter tightening his own grip on his spear. Oh no, he's gonna hurl his thunderbolt. There was no way Allan could win. He was going to die here. Lynn, can you summon the bow? Save him! You You've helped others before with the bow. Allan, please, just run. I can't do that. I never want to experience that pain again. I don't want to let you out of my sight ever again. Never again. Oh, is that blank name?
Ah, now I see. You must be that. I am truly sorry, but this world cannot afford to lose Cupid. Taking the power of a god is an unforgivable sin. You of all people must understand that.
I'm a demon, remember? I'm not afraid of a little sin. That's the whole reason I exist. So give Cupid back to me. I'm not going to let you take her back there.
I am Jupiter, Lord of the Deconsentes. I am not allowed to disobey the rules of heaven and earth. You should have listened to her and run, instead of disobeying me.
Lord Jupiter's voice was filled with melancholy, and he raised one hand towards the heavens. In the next moment, Allan was struck by a bolt of lightning. Greg! Allan!
Cupid, that's enough.
Let go of me! Allan! Allan! My love is suffering. He's going to die. I have to save him. No. I don't want to be away from him ever again. I let go of his hand once before. Is she remembering? What was that? There was once a time where I couldn't keep hold of his hand, where I had to let go. If I don't do something, I'll never be able to hold it again. Bolt after bolt struck him over and over again. Finally, he slowly began to collapse. Our eyes met. Oh. He was trying to tell me not to worry. I couldn't believe that even now he was still only thinking of me. Allan! Allan! I reached out my hands, but I grasped only air. Lord Jupiter scooped me up and flew away. Lying on the ground, Allan looked up towards me. Lynette. He weakly reached out his hands to me, but the distance was too great. I would never touch his hands again. Once again, we were being separated. Oh, we were able to meet again. He sought me out. Why must it be like this? He's so important to me. All I know is that I never want to be away from him again. Despite all my struggling, Lord Jupiter easily returned me back to Celestia. Let go of me! Surprisingly, he did what I asked. Just as he opened his mouth to say something, I heard running footsteps from behind me. Oh, hi, family. Cupid! Darling Eros, I'm so glad you're okay. We were all so worried about you. Mom, Dad. As Mom and Dad hugged me, my heart flooded with memories. Wait, do they know that, like, Cupid just dies? Is that why she Venus calls her Eros? Because that was, like, past Cupid? But I quickly distanced myself from them. All I could think about was Allan. I had to get back as soon as I could. He looked like he was injured really badly. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry, but I have to return to the human realm. Cupid, what are you saying? Someone really important to me is hurt. Please, I'll come back as soon as I can. No, Cupid. I'm sorry, but you were deceived by that demon. You know, Minerva, you know a little bit something about deception, don't you? Aunt Minerva? I looked around and saw Lady Minerva, goddess of knowledge and war. I'm sorry, Cupid. What did you call me? My apologies. I meant Lady Minerva, of course. But what do you mean I was deceived? The demon charmed you, that's all. That's their go-to strategy. Please don't be fooled. True demons are quite fearsome. They feed on human souls and rebel against the gods. If you get too close, they'll pull you down. I mean, he had plenty of time to do that, but he saved us every time. But he's been helping me and looking out for me for so long. Let it go, Eros. Gods and demons cannot intermingle. Since medieval times, at the very least, we've been mortal enemies. That's not too long ago, all things considered. Speaking of which, it smells like the underworld in here. Cupid, were you at a Sabbath by any chance? Yes, but that was an accident. Well, you've been to a Sabbath, and you know just how bad they really are. They'll even feed on a god given the chance. But Allan is the one that rescued me. He probably just didn't want someone else snacking on his hard-earned prey. That's not true. If he wanted to eat me himself, he had plenty of other opportunities. Kidnapping a god from Celestia and sealing away their power is a terrible sin that defies the very rules of the world. When a god disappears, the world plunges into chaos. We must all remain here. And yet you suddenly went missing, Cupid. Acting like she's like, oh, that's a bad thing. I don't want that. As soon as your necklace signal came back, we started desperately searching for you. It kept going in and out, so it wasn't easy. Your powers did return to you recently, did they not? That's how we were able to find you. My powers? No, it was because I got my memories back. So that's why Allan was trying so hard to erase my memories. Gotta jam the signal. That way I wouldn't have to become Cupid again. If I wasn't Cupid, then I wouldn't have to disappear. When I saw you in Minerva's crystal ball, I saw you were with the demon. That certainly surprised me, I can tell you. I didn't want to have to rely on her, but I wanted to get my dear daughter back, so I had no choice. Which is also why Lord Jupiter himself went down to the world below. The enemy was a greater demon, so if we come down ourselves, innocent humans might have been harmed. I see. Lord Jupiter was just standing there quietly, a step removed. He looked as if he was genuinely sorry for forcing me to come back. But all those merciless thunderbolts, you just kept raining them down. As Mom, Dad, and Aunt Minerva surrounded me, Lord Jupiter just sighed and walked away. Lord Jupiter! I was about to call out to him, but Dad suddenly rested his huge palm on my head. Now then, Cupid! Ever since you disappeared, love relations in the human realm have become a total mess. What? But Cupid Corp is still around, right? But without a god here to guide them, they're having trouble getting out of bad relationships. Those bridal advisors have created a lot of new couples, true, but so many of them are horrible fits for each other. What? Is that true? Sadly, yes. Romance in the human realm has been turned on its head. We've been trying to help how we can in your absence. Like trying to lure away the really bad guys with my irresistible charms. just luring them like a succubus. But nothing has worked. Without Cupid's bow, we didn't have a long-term solution. Hey, don't make it sound like my charms didn't work at all. Huh. Ah, did it sound like that? Don't worry, I know how pretty you really are. Although I'm even prettier is probably what she was thinking. Anyway. Right, Cupid's bow. I have it with me now. Shoot them all! Did I always have Cupid's bow the whole time I was human? Most likely. It's hard to put into words how much we've suffered without you and your arrows. How dare you pretend to be a human and deceive the gods? No, honey. She was deceived by a demon and forced to become a human. Mom, stop. He really isn't a bad demon. Everything he did was to help me. My darling Eros. That's exactly what every girl has been fooled by a bad man says. But Allan isn't bad, I swear. He did everything he could to protect me. He just wanted to keep me from disappearing. Mom, Dad, Lady Minerva, can any of you tell me you didn't know I'd be disappearing soon? After I said that, they all went silent. They knew. Their faces all tightened up. So it was true. I had to get back to Allan, but suddenly Aunt Minerva was there, blocking my path. Cupid, listen. That awful demon fooled you. Poor girl. That's just some lie your demon made up. He wants you to believe us gods are the enemy. Allan would never do that. Would you still believe that even if I showed you this? Huh? This is... Her name is Clarice Tia. She's a succubus, and a close friend of Allan Melville, aka an incubus. In other words, your roommate was a demon too, but she was still nice to us. What? A succubus? Clarice? What? But she totally did act like a succubus. Now she's like... Oh, Lynette's like, okay, makes sense. Click. She did go out all night hanging out with different men all the time. She was like a female version of Allan. So the reason Clarice never fell in love is because she was a succubus. But even if that's true, that doesn't mean they were trying to deceive me. Both of them treated me so well. What are you talking about? Having two separate demons around you is no mere coincidence. They just wanted to feed. But... Eros, a demon would never ever look after a god. Exactly, they just wanted to lure you in with their sweet talk. They'll say whatever they think will work. Mephistopheles from Faust, Lucifer from Paradise Lost, and the Divine Comedy. Those things really happened. It was all before you were born, so you may not be too familiar with it. Before I was born, All three of them are trying to make Allan out to be the bad guy. They're all part of the deconsentes, so it's only natural they have a bad opinion of demons. But Aunt Minerva always told me demons were nothing back then. I told you, you're going to disappear. Every single god besides the deconsentes are nothing more than disposable pawns. Allan's words echoed through my head. The deconsentes are so selfish, just like any other adults. They treat younger gods like me like little kids and refuse to share any of their knowledge with us. Allan doesn't seem like he'd lie about gods disappearing, but Aunt Minerva says that's just what demons do. If Allan is telling the truth, then I'll just get used up and disappear. And obviously the other gods wouldn't want to tell me about that. Asking Mom, Dad, and Aunt Minerva about it is pointless. They'll just hide the truth and tell me nothing. In the end, Lord Jupiter and the other deconsentes just don't care about us lower gods. And I just can't imagine Allan lying to me like that. He's been watching over me this whole time. If Allan's right, then the gods are all consciously lying to me. Who do you believe? Your family or your love? I hate that. I feel like I can't trust anyone in Celestia. This is the second time I've questioned the nature of the gods. Enemies all around. Whew. Alone beneath the sky. It's a little bit early to stop here, I feel like. I probably should take a break now, though, because my nose is leaking. To be honest, my allergies are flaring up. So we'll keep it shorter this time. Okie doke. Let's save over here. I feel like we're almost there. We're almost at the end point. So are all the answers gonna be revealed? Are we gonna reunite with Allan? Alright guys, I hope you guys are having a fun time with this. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.